That sucks. So what's open now? Is the biolab open now, or is the other room open now? Well, I'll check the garden because it's closer. Garden's still broken. So it's gonna be either the murder classroom or the biolab. Alright, thank you, Raw. Didn't it say that before too? Raw? I don't remember if that actually had any significance. Oh good, there's more manga. I see the doll! What the hell is with this room? It's freaking cold in here! It's like I'm in a freezer or something. If I stand still, I might end up freezing to death. I should hurry up and investigate so I can get out of here already. It said it before? Okay.
I've been found.
Raw. Huh. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Looks like a plastic tarp. Why is this left out like this? Clean up after yourselves, will ya? God! What's wrong with you? Hajime gets really snarky. I like this. I've seen this in movies before. It's a refrigerator for preserving dead bodies. At least that's what it looks like. But it's not possible, right? Keeping dead bodies in a high school biolab isn't something you should joke about. It just feels so forced. The idea should have been canceled during development or something. What am I thinking? I love these fourth wall breaks. I don't know why. It's just, they're great. There's another manga just lying around here. This time the title is Manga for Morons, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, with a screaming lady on the front. I knew it. The next one would obviously be about this incident. The biggest, most awfulest, tragicest event in human history, huh? Just what was that incident really all about? It might turn out to be something lame. It's gotta be lame. That's like the worst thing that ever happened. God. I flipped through the pages of the manga and hoped that I was right. You were wrong. That is a really weird. Implying Hajime is a moron? Yeah, I think it is. A story about creepily drawn characters who get involved in such horrifying incidents. An incident known as the biggestest, awfulestest, tragicestest event in human history. Is this drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? Anyway, the beginning of this creepy manga starts with this sentence. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the reserve corps students that triggered the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Whomstedeva was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in. Why does it care about race? Why is race such a thing that it needs to bring up? Right? Like, I don't know why race is so weird. But the movement was not confined to the internet and began spreading and eroding the real world. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. I will take a look at that, Terry, eventually. Because bears. By then it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and wanton destruction became their only goal. Maybe like different countries, but didn't it say different nations? The strong butcher the weak. The weak killed the weakest among them. Oh, good. And soon the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear. As if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times where senseless deaths were the norm. Wow, that's topical! That's fucking topical right there, that sentence. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. Again, really topical. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. Do you think that this is happening in real life right now, guys? A feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the whole world. Acts of terrorism, coups d'etats began occurring around the world. A war waged in the name of despair. Unicode characters ruin everything? Is that just a blanket statement? A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain. Just war. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How could a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization, devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak Academy, a group called Ultimate Despair, which it opens just fine? Alright. Instead of using Hope's Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they used it for the sake of mankind's despair. Key members of society used their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. The power and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy, the biggestest, awfulestest, tragicestest event in human history. As long as the ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end. Well, that sucks. My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold. The next Danganronpa is gonna be live action. Yep, ooh, that'll be cool. And it wasn't because I was freezing in this room. The biggest, most awfulest, most tragicest event in human history. Despair, yo. That's good salvation. See, I'm just gonna call it, like, I'm gonna keep just adding on, like, weird things to it, because I don't like saying that every single time. Like, you just keep saying it. That it'd be weird to have a live action version. But see, what if it actually just Hajime, like the characters, like, just whipped out a gun and just shot somebody? I think that would be pretty good live action. I mean, if this is really true, then what's happening in the outside world? My family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, the nearby bookstore, my favorite restaurant? What's happened to them?
No way!
Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you? Who would enjoy reading something like this?
What?
Oh my! You don't like manga? Do you look like you know what a JPEG is? A high school student doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy. Enough! What is this messed up manga? I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you not to remember that, such despair. That's the Future Foundation's fault, though. Thanks to them for stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains. This incident really happened? I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible.
What are you saying?
How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues here are real. Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives in the outside world. I see. I don't see, but that's how it is. That's what he meant by what he said at the beginning. Well, as a headmaster, I'm conflicted. Yeah, I already read this. Yep. Yep. Okay. He's trying to make us feel despair toward the outside world, so we'll want to stay on this island. But there's no way I'm going to do what he wants. Ice, ice, Hajime. Da-da-da-da, ice, ice, Hajime. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now. Perhaps. Perhaps. Mayhaps. No, that's definitely it. What? What, is he gonna say it's a fake? Whether or not this incident really happened, what in the world is the Ultimate Despair Group? They're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope's Peak Academy to its destruction. Are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Plus, that organization is just one person, but it's a group of people. But if they're known as the Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right? Well, if they're actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they were called Ultimates. Then, are the killings we're involved in connected to them as well? It's no use! Take this! I'm gonna freeze to death. I'm at my limit. I need to get out of here. Shivering, I ran out of the freezing room. Don't worry, I got the doll from there. We're good. That was close. I nearly froze to death. So where should I go next? Just like glitching out while he's talking, like his head just like starts turning. Okay, so not the death classroom. Is it the other classroom? It is the other classroom. Oh. No, I should ignore it. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see him. Gotta check the rafters. Alright, I don't see a doll. Get level up! Man, I'm gonna need that when I went inside that room. The bastard bear was suddenly here. He keeps glancing at me. I wonder why. It's gonna be shitty either way.
Damn
Check the
right.
clock. So I'll let you handle it. There's no way I'm gonna deal with that idiot. I don't want to do that either. Can I check the clock? I can check the clock. Is it gonna be like 11:30? It's meaningless to look at the clock. Okay, I checked the clock, Salvation. What was... I can check it again for you. Is it on 7:30? I can't tell. Like, there's just that glare.
Hiya.
Why, hello! Hello! That was a toad noise. Why, hello, Hajime. I hope you're doing pleasingly well. Are you pleasingly well? You're pleasingly well, right? What are you doing here?
No.
Well, there was another thing I need to tell you on this floor. I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth? You should have done that from the beginning. I don't want to read your manga in the first place. A high school student who doesn't like a manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pies. Vohayo, Hajime. I'm getting really fed up with your babbling. Hurry up, what do you need to tell me? Ah!
This is an automated message, please hold.
Thank you for those 25 bits, Kirby. I appreciate it a lot. I can't do things as easily as I thought I could. Or I would Alt-Tab and do the B end parentheses. But can we get some B end parentheses for cool guy Kirby?
What?
Surprise! It's about ultimate despair! Huh? Even though the term ultimate despair refers to a group these days.
Actually,
It was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive. A high school girl?
indeed.
Lady Junko Inoshima. End parentheses. You know, like it's like a B and then like a face because it's like a smile. Junko Inoshima.
Hey,
As for the former ultimate despair, she created despair brimming with charm and humor, and created the ultimate despairers. There was only really one horrible person in that group.
don't fuck with
Hold on a sec. There you go, Kirby. I don't know about the ultimate despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl.
Unbelievable.
Despairals. You mean ultimate despair girls? Ooh! Is that actually it? Like, am I right about that? Humans are obsessed with their philosophy of an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? Like Hitler. There's nothing strange about it.
Hey,
That holds true for Lady Junko. With her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the highest echelons of power. Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place. So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat?
Huh?
So what was their purpose?
Huh?
What? Like I said, why'd they cause an incident? Doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way they'd do what they did without any purpose.
Hey,
It was Junko Inoshima's despair. Huh? Yeah, come again? For Junko Inoshima, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Inoshima as Junko Inoshima. What are you saying? I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human. It's exactly like that. Junko Inoshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving, for her, everything is despair. What the hell? With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs one by one. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea had been slammed right into their minds. And so the ultimate despairs who had been recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko Inoshima. Like believers making an offering to their god, like a mother providing food to her children. Junko. Everything's Junko. They dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair, all in Junko Inoshima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends, and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something that they had to do. Junko's limbs. Thinking about Junko's limbs. Does that mean that Nagito was one of them? Because he had her hand? Also, that's true, Salvat. You're right. But is Nagito one of them because he had her hand? He literally was... He was her limb? There's no way something that crazy is possible. Do you know that the final days of the reserve corps students during the tragedy of Hope Peak Academy, they all died? Final days.
in other words,
Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history. What's a hand? I don't know. What do you mean final days? What happened to the reserve department?
Of course.
They fulfilled their roles as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do. Did they